So just to give you one more time, just to recap what we're trying to do here is that with direct bookings, when you're trying to do direct bookings from your website, technically you can give a lower price than what you show on OTAs, and and that's only for registered users. Basically, it's if it's repeat customers or customers that have been at your property before. But you could use these options so you can let your customers know every time if you come back in, you can just always log in by going, by logging in as a registered user that you already been in the system before. You can change this. Also, you can, call this existing guest user or something like that. So this way, you could offer them a lower price than what you are putting on Expedia or Booking.com. So these are some of the ways that we're finding in the, like, larger chains are actually using this type of scenarios to be able to offer different prices or lower prices to keep themselves competitive with the OTAs. Okay. So anyway, that said, and that I'm going to transfer. I mean, I'm going to hand it over to Bobby. Just overall, as I mentioned, I'll just recap. Just the that these two guys, Booking.com, Expedia, have become the big giants. They are over 90 to 95% of the market share. Each of them probably have about 15. I know for sure Expedia has about 15 different brands under their umbrella, like Hotels.com, Trivago.com. So they have, and Booking.com has their own set of OTAs under their brand, and so those two are become the leading players. And just to be aware of prices to be matched on both engines, making sure on the OTAs, because if you are showing different prices, then you're going to be your ratings are going to be dropped down because they're watching that very closely. Secondly, also we want to start increasing the direct bookings from your website so that you are not paying your whatever 15% commission to Expedia or Booking.com, and that's what we see. The big players are starting to really push their own booking engine, their own brands, by providing these discounted rates for existing guests. And of course, we have our own. We have the CRM feature, the that you can send out automatic emails. You can send out promotional emails. It'll be a great place for you to really make use of that, so you can build your your loyal customers, so to speak. Okay, I'm just going to hand it over to Bobby and see. He's going to show us to use the different screens on the Easy Inkeeping.
So let's say that you have, particular weekends that you know that you're going to be sold out, and you don't want to sell them on the OTAs to avoid overbookings. We're going to look at our room type chart, which is one of the most effective tools that we have as far as managing your availability on the OTAs. Now, for this particular property, we've closed the weekends in June and July, May, June, and July. If you wish to do this, you would come to the room type chart, under charts, then room type, here. Then you come to the period that you want to open and close. You right click, open, close rooms. So we select today. And then our end date, if we want to let's say we want to go through the end of July. Can't seem to use the mouse today. Right? And we only want to do the weekends. Right? We save the changes.
So we can just do a different one.
So we're going to do the month of August because those dates already had existed. So we've sent it. Now, anytime you send the close, you do have to update your availability manually. So we go to Setup, GDS Settings, and we're going to do Booking.com. We're going to send availability, and we're going to send it from today, and we go out to the last date pushed. You don't want to make this when you send rates and availability, you don't want to make it for short time periods because it creates issues with the reservations being downloaded into Easy and Keeping. So we hit send availability. One other thing to note about the end date of your push, if this date falls in the middle of a seasonal rate, that particular rate will not get sent to the OTAs. We have to be careful that the end date here, the end date of your rate push, if this end date of the rate push falls within the middle of a seasonal rate, it will not send that particular rate. Okay. So if we go to our test hotel, and we look through the end of August, it does take a few minutes for the availability to get populated through the system. We can see that our weekends are closed. There. And here, our weekends got closed for that particular time frame. Now, when we want to open them back up, if we know that if we observe that business is slow and we just want to go and open the weekends back up to be sold, you come back to your room type chart, right click, open close rooms. We find our line item that we just added and we hit open. Are you sure you want to open? Say OK. We can also open the previous one. Okay. Then we have to go push manually again the availability. Settings, setup GDS settings, Booking.com settings. And we repeat the procedure that we did when we closed them. Okay. And we allow a few minutes to populate the system. And this doesn't apply to only weekends. You can close or open any if you want to do, close out an entire month. You can do that. If you want to close out your entire property, you can do that as well, all using this room type chart. So if we look now, the weekends we had closed previously are now open back up. We still have a few that it hasn't populated completely yet, but it's again it could take up to 5 to 10 minutes to update everything. But you can see from some of these that we previously saw closed are now indeed open. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you real quickly is the new markup that we added. If we go to Setup, Basic, Easy, and Keeping, and Rate Setup, Gideon had mentioned the commission that the OTAs always charge, the 15%. We built in a way to recoup that. If we go into your rates, okay, so if we open up a rate, we see now this channel manager markup, and you can increase. So if you, for example, they do 15%. If you wanted to add in the 15%, build it into your rates, you can mark it up 15%. When you save the rate plan, okay, you also have seasonal rates. It also when you add it to the regular rate, you see it also adds to the seasonal rates, the 15% markup value. You would want to change all of the rates that you have on Booking.com. You can sort it by that here, and then go and add that 15% markup value. You see, we added a 22% markup value to the chalet at some point. Once you've marked up your rates, then you go and push your rates back to the OTAs, as we did with availability just a moment ago. One thing to make note about the rates updates are not automatic. Anytime you make changes to your rates, you have to push to the OTAs manually. Availability is updated automatically, but rates are not. So we send our rates. It's the same thing. You don't want to send for short date ranges. You want to send from today out to the last date that rates were sent previously. So here is May 9th of 2018. And we send rates. Now this takes us considerably longer than availability, so we won't hold you while we wait for the system to populate. But this will go and add 15% to the rates that are being sold on the OTAs, so that you can recoup your commission that you have to pay to them.